Hello and welcome to my tutorial. So today's tutorial is basically just to give you an introduction of what computer architecture is all about. So I'll break it down to what computer architecture is, then we'll look at what computer and organization is all about. Now, what is computer architecture? Computer architecture is basically concerned with the physical structure of a computer. It just has to do with the physical structure of the computer, as simple as that. And then computer organization. Computer organization is concerned with the way the hardware components operate and the way they are connected together to form a computer system. So a system is a set of interrelated components that together they work together to perform different tasks. So now this computer system looks like this. Like I said, it's a set of interrelated components. These are the components of a computer right here. You are seeing there's a monitor, there's a keyboard, there's a central processing unit, there's a printer, there's a mouse. All these are components that are forming what we are calling computer system. Okay, so now taking you back to computer architecture is a physical structure of a computer. It has to do with the appearance of the computer. So what we are seeing here, the physical structure of this computer. And of course, computer organization has to do with the way these components that are forming computer system, the way they are organized, the way they are connected to work together. Okay, so you now have an idea of what computer architecture and organization is all about. It has to do with the hardware components of a computer, how they are structured, and of course how they are connected to work together and form what we are calling computer system. Now moving on, these computers are digital. A digital computer is a digital system that performs various computational tasks. Digital computers use the binary number system, which has two digits only, that is 0 and 1. That is why we hear to say computers only understand the language of zeros and ones. Okay, because with the hardware part, we need the software part to control that hardware, and that software has to do with writing instructions to a computer, telling it, of course, what to do. And as we are communicating with it, it can only understand the zeros and ones language. It can't understand our language. So a binary digit is called a bit. If you've heard of 1 bit, 2 bit, 3 bit, we're just talking about the binary numbers or binary digits. And these binary digits are not beyond 0 and 1. A computer system is also sometimes subdivided into two functional entities. There's the hardware and the software. So like I said, a computer system, it has interrelated components that they work together to perform tasks, and these components can be divided into hardware and software because these two are part of the computer system and they are very, very important, very cardinal, because the hardware cannot do without the software and the software cannot do minus the hardware. You need the hardware to facilitate this software, and of course you need this software because it acts as an interface between the user and the machine. You are able to talk to your computer through a software. Without this software you cannot interact with your machine, which makes them part of the computer system. Going further, the hardware of the computer consists of all electronic components and electromechanical devices that comprise the physical entity of the device. So we are looking at the hardware. Like I said in the previous slide here, computer system is sometimes subdivided into two functional entities. So we are looking at the hardware entity, which consists of these electronic components and the electromechanical components. So electronic, just from the word electricity, this word here, electronic and electromechanical. Okay, we know that our computers need electricity. They need to be plugged into a power source. For them to work, they need power supply. So we need components of your computer that will facilitate the power supply, because we have other components like the software. Of course, it facilitates the interface between the user and the machine. We have other input output devices. We have the processor, the central processing unit that has to do with processing everything. So we also have other components that facilitate the power supply. So look at some of them. So like right here is the motherboard. What you're seeing here is a motherboard, one of the electronic components. Now it's very important to note that the motherboard is very important. We know that the central processing unit is the heart of a computer. Why? Inside it you find this motherboard. It's where all the processes are found in here. So you can see some of the parts are being named. There's a CPU fan and heatsink mounting points. We have a CPU sockets. Almost everything is found here. That's why if it's spoiled, then your entire computer system gets disturbed. If your keyboard got spoiled, it wouldn't be much of a problem, but then if this motherboard stops functioning, then you have a bigger problem. So taking you to other components are the electromechanical components. So I only managed to show you 2 of them, but then there are a lot more that you'll find. So on my right here, this is a fan. I'm sure it looks like a normal fan, right? Yeah. So just like in our houses, we have those fans that we use when it's really hot and you want to keep the house cool, then you use a fan to keep the place cool. Even a computer needs this. So especially in the central processing unit, like I said, this is where most activities take place, the processes, so it becomes really heated up. It's evident some laptops, if you put them on your laps, you find that they get very hot, they get very heated up. This can cause some cables to burn. That is why you need a fan to regulate the temperature inside the central processing unit. So this right here is an example of the fan that you can find inside the central processing unit, or in a computer, in a laptop. Yep. So on the left right here is the hard drive. This one is also found inside. You can't just see it in a physical yep. So as I was saying, right here is the hard drive as well. It's one of the electromechanical components that you find inside the computer. So if you note the word here, electromechanical components, they are in constant motion. Okay, the fan, so as I was saying, these components are in constant motion. Just like the fan keeps moving to bring that cool air, even this fan keeps moving there, they're in constant motion. And this is the hard drive. So the secret about computer architecture, it's good if you are more practical. If you haven't opened a laptop before, or a computer, it's hard for you to actually understand this. But then if you try to open, you'll be familiar with these things, you'll be able to see them. And like I said, I've only mentioned 2, but there are a lot more out there, a lot more devices that are found inside, or other components. So now coming to the other entity, which is the software part. The computer software, it consists of the instructions. So like I said, these are instructions that tell a computer what to do. They perform various data processing tasks. So as you go further in computer architecture, you're going to look at operating systems in details. So this is just what computer architecture is all about. Remember, this was just an introduction to give you an idea of what computer architecture and organization is all about. So as you go further, you'll be looking at the Boolean algebra, you'll be looking at the circuits and all that, understanding that the computer only understands the language of ones and zeros. So until we meet again in the next tutorial, we'll be looking at Boolean algebra. Thank you.